Hey, what's going on, guys? Phil here, and welcome back for some Mechwarrior Online patch notes. We're going to be diving into what is included with this patch and my thoughts on the particular items at hand. So let's go ahead and start with the very beginning here, and it's just to sort of talk about, this is the 7th quirk pass basically in a row. It includes mechs like the Assassin, the Dervish, the Grasshopper, the Mad Cat Mark II, and there's more, and we'll go ahead and just briefly go over which mechs. So if any of those mechs you're interested in, make sure to check out. And again, just like all of these patch notes, they're super long, so we're not going to go into every single particular because there's literally hundreds of entries. So let's go ahead and talk about what they have here. We know you have lots of questions about the future of Mechwarrior Online. Again, we're still waiting on that roadmap, which we will begin answering this Friday, February 25th, when we post the MWO roadmap. And speaking of which, there is our answer. February 25th, we will be covering when this is posted. We will follow that up with a devlog in early March where we can get into more detail and hopefully answer a few questions. Now, I will throw this out there. I did reach out to Matt and Darren about doing a podcast, and I was told that, of course, after this Friday, they would be more akin to sit down and chat once they have their devlog video. So they want to get their devlog video before they sit down and talk with a little hobbit like myself. So stay tuned on that. I did reach out and they did respond, but obviously they have some stuff to do before they want to sit down. So just toss that out there. As with everything, these updates are subject to further balance changes in the future, especially as more variables are brought into the equation with future updates and changes. All right, so basically get out there and do science. Mech adjustments, they fixed where the Bass E, and that's the Blood Asp, didn't have jump jets, or the jump jets weren't being, it was a bug, it's fixed. So just keep in mind, you may have an invalid loadout on that particular variant because you've moved the jump jets out, which weren't supposed to be able to be removed. Anyway, just pay attention to that. Weapon adjustments. This is actually sort of nice, and I'll get into a reason why. I'm not really keen on, you know, the changes as far as the wrong wordage. I'm not really concerned with the changes of the energy weapons. I do think, you know, that's nice. Increase heat penalty multiplier to 5 from 4. This is actually a really big one because I feel like clan ER larges were being voted, and that just sort of shows you how difficult it is. You know, we've seen a push from PPCs to large pulse and then ER large and then the nerfs back because, again, boating is such a big and complicated issue with the multiple layers. The ones I'm excited for are the ballistic weapon changes. I recently had Navid in the past month pop into my Twitch chat, and he said that UAC 5s were sort of underperforming. And well, we can see here that the cooldown has been decreased to 1.45 seconds from 1.66. That's a pretty substantial change. And then jam chance reduction 0.1. I mean, it's not much of a change, but again, any change is worthy, and a jam duration as well. And these, of course, stack up with the skill trees as well. So to me, the reason why this is exciting is the UAC 5s, especially on IS side, becoming sort of relevant again. And you can see the clan ones as well. Now, there were some other little changes, LBX on both clan and IS. And again, I feel like the DPS there, you've just basically seen everybody do UAC 10s instead, or AC 10s. 5s are sort of falling out, so we'll see if these changes, you know, help that out. We've got some streak changes as well, some clan ATM, mainly a cooldown on streaks, and then ATM's heat as well. Obviously, we've seen a dramatic fallout from ATMs. ATMs were for a while severely OP, and I would say the nerf was rightfully so, but I feel like they got a double whammy there. And I've talked about this in general, which is the weird inverse relationship between AMS and then LRMs or ATMs or missiles in general, where one gets severely buffed and the other one needs nerfed or nerfed and buffed, but also it has to do with the targeting system and the information they're in. And as I mentioned previously with the discussion between missiles and AMS, it's this weird thing, and I can go on a rant about this, but let it be known that I think that LRMs or missile weaponry and AMS will always have a very weird relationship where one is either too OP or the other one is just not. We need targeting information and sharing to be adjusted. Indirect, direct fire, stuff like that to be talked to. And until PGI can devote resources, or if they're even able to, we're just stuck with what it is. So ATMs got really nerfed way back in the day. I did feel they need a nerf because, man, ATM 12s used to rock, man. And 9s, now it's just, So anyways, so some, decreased on heat on this. This is exciting here, map updates. And it's funny because I've talked a lot about where the game used to look a lot different back in the early 2012, 13, 14 timeframe, which is lighting. This was for those that have been around, this is the old forest colony. Now, I liked the old forest colony. The problem was it was a small map, and when they updated it to 12v12, it just felt very cramped. And instead of taking this map, which I felt was a good one, and opening up a few avenues of approach, they just said, we can do better. And in my opinion, the new forest colony, one, aesthetically is meh, and two, it's 90% of the map you don't use. The issue with the lighting is, for whatever reason, back in the day, PGI and whoever the map designers or artists decided to give everything this weird gray, like brown fog look. And this is what Old Forest Colony basically used to look like, and it was actually quite unique. And if you skip to like 2013, some of the changes went in, and again, it made the maps almost like haunted, dreary look. And the original, like I said, OG Forest Colony looked like this. So this is actually exciting. They've adjusted lighting. I think this is really nice. I would like to see Francois go back and actually adjust all the trees here so they're actually impacted by weapon fire. Because, again, it's one of those things where, all the other newer maps have that. So it'd be cool if they could go back and make those adjustments. But as far as this forest colony versus the new one, I would much rather play this one. I mean, they're pretty much, two different maps. And I don't think they should be, call the other one like Redwood Forest or something. I don't know, something different. But I honestly think they could have just expanded and had a different, path up here or another path over here and some other cover systems. They could have just opened this map up just a little bit for 12v12 and gone from there. But I'm really excited to check what this looks like out in game. But if you didn't know, this is happening, and maybe we'll see some future adjustments. So anyways, I'm really excited to see this, and we'll go check this out, of course, in game later when we're playing. Let's talk about the next thing is new trial mechs. This is always a positive. I'm always super stoked to sort of see this because, again, 16 new trial mech champion mechs. And for those that don't know, this is basically mechs that new players can come in here and use for free. The only downside to all this is still, we're 8 years into this, and all the trial mechs, you still can't use the skill tree. They don't have skill tree templates that they're just built in. So new players are still at a disadvantage when using these. Now, as looking at the positives, new builds are always good, especially as the meta has evolved over the years. And with a lot of these trial mechs now being updated via the Quirk Pass, it just makes them even more viable out there. And we've got some interesting ones. Again, Incubus to the Kit Fox, a Missile Kit Fox, keep in mind, instead of a Purifier Energy one. We've got a Flea, we've got a Javelin, we've got a Huntsman, and this is a ATM 12, speaking of ATMs. And what's nice is these are actually community built templates, which again sort of showcase their effectiveness because they're basically designed to be better than the stock versions. So anyways, Dervish, we have Vapor Eagle there with some LBs and ER Peeps. Vulcan, the 5T, which of course is a classic. I've said this is probably one of the best mechs, hands down. Again, a while ago it was, and I would still say it's pretty darn good. We've got the linebacker, and this is the H that I've used before, which allows you to do the 6 medium pulse and everything in the torsos, so you don't have to worry about the arms, which is really nice. We've got the summoner, and this is actually one that many people don't know, and I didn't know up until recently. The Quirk Pass gave a bonus per half ton or full ton. You almost get, I think it's over double the amount of ammo. So where I used to run out of ammo with this dual UAC 10 build on the summoner, now if you run out, you're gonna have a very nice score. So this is a really nice one. I think that'll be fun seeing out there. And the nice thing is like stock agility on the summoner is really nice. We have the archer. And again, LRM 15s, the meta out there includes tag, which again, I'm so glad that they're including those in these mechs. The 9M, again, the only thing I don't like about this particular pick is that The mech is not as effective because it doesn't have the skills. Now, you could say cooldown of weapons and all that, but just the ECM alone is, again, it teaches, because none of that information is out there. It's not readily available for newer players to understand how ECM works, whereas you still need those nodes to be fully effective. They did reduce the, versus stock of what the module does versus what you get from the skill tree, but still, it's one of those where PGI, I'd love for them to finally be able to just say, hey, if you're using that, you're stuck using this skill tree, but at least you're getting the benefits, and you could have the Cauldron pick the skill tree as well. Let's get to that. I mean, come on, it's been literally like 9 years. The BASP, speaking of, this is again, a build here. This is the A, this is not the one we were talking about earlier. Keep in mind, I like the BASP. I get it. A lot of people do. Man, that left torso, you take that thing out, oof, you're gonna be hurting for ammo really quick. Then we've got the Marauder 2C, and this is a pretty standard one. ER larges, which is right underneath the chin where the cockpit is, so they're pretty high mounts. And then across the board, ER mediums. With that Annihilator, this is this hurts getting slapped by this. I've talked a lot about it, is some of these assault 100-tonners, they need basically no firepower, which is 3 AC-10s, which if you haven't done the firing right on 3 AC-10s is quite nice. And then, of course, the light peeps were pinpoint accuracy. So now that light peeps don't have minimum range, and if you didn't know that, that happened a few patches ago, that basically this is in your face and it'll just chew you apart if you're just not paying attention. We have the Cyclops. This is the 10Q. This is the all SRM build. This is actually really, really fun. And for a new player, I think they've done a really good job where you've got the SRM 6s and the 2s for DPS so they can switch there. So I like this build. And of course, Ks for ammo explosions and stuff like that. And speaking of the Cyclops, I was watching, shout out to Magic Pain Glove earlier. If you haven't checked him out, he's on Twitch. Really, really good player and fun to watch as well. And one of the things we were talking about was the Cyclops, the Sleipnir. Maybe the 4 UAC 5 build is going to become sort of standard again. So that'd be cool to see that build out there. Obviously, we talked about Mechworks, and this is a ridiculously long list. This is actually the majority of this, and I'm not going to go through this because it'll literally take me forever to do that. But we've got a few things where here's a quirk pass from Mechs. So this is adjustments to previously requirked Mechs. We got the Locust here. We got Miss Lynx, Kit Fox. We've got Arctic Cheetah, Javelin, Cougar, Raven. And again, these are small little adjustments. And this is actually really nice because I do feel, I've been very critical of the Cauldron. But they're working within their means. They can't do anything, right? If PGI is not going to dedicate resources to introduce new systems, because for whatever reason they can't, the Cauldron is working within their means and they're doing the best they can. So that all being said, I do like the fact of you have a lot of variability out there and a lot of choice now. I think it's really good as far as having choices on a lot of these mechs out there. So kudos again to the Cauldron. I'm going to be critical, but I'm also going to be totally 100% understanding. You guys can't make things happen if PGI isn't. So all that being said, we have a ton of adjustments here. You can see these are just adjustments. As they're progressing forward, again, expect more, and then it rolls into more and more and more. And here's the actual quirk pass 7, and it rolls into the assassin and so forth and so on. So I'm going to go and scroll down here. As you can see, this list goes on and on and on. And again, here's that bug fix, which is the jump jets in the BASP E. That's pretty much it. So I'm actually going to be playing this today, checking this out, but I wanted to get the patch notes out a little late on my part. Nothing new outside of that. Now, the good news is we now know February, they've put it on writing now, February 25th, we're getting the roadmap and then a dev vlog. So I think, as I stated previously, this is going to be very telling of the future of MWO, and I'll be right there with you guys dissecting what they release and my opinions on that. But I'm really optimistic, but I'm not going to be holding my breath, and we'll see what their intentions are moving forward. But that's the February patch. Again, if you like any of those particular mechs, I would go check them out. And again, as far as balance, the game is in a great state of balance as far as weapons and mechs than it's ever been, really, ever. That all being said, if you haven't played in a while, come back, check it out. And, you know, we'll see very soon, again, later on this week, the roadmap. So that's it for the February patch notes in 2022. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Let me know down in the comments down below. Are you excited? Are you optimistic about the roadmap? What do you think about this patch? What do you think about the forest colony lighting changes you've experienced so far? But let me know again in the comments down below. I hope to see you on the next video. Until next time.